Welcome to the Crypto Teacher Stock Channel. And guys, please like and subscribe if you do like what you're listening to. Please inform your friends and family and spread it all over social media. It is imperative that we get back to learning finances and understand how the world really works. Because once we understand how the world really works, we understand that everything is planned out. Now, we're going to go over the stimulus first. Now, of course, we had Trump stating he wants a bigger deal. He sends out a tweet today saying the stock market is up big. Of course, guys, we know the Fed is pumping it. That's who's making it go up, the Fed. And who does the president's work for? The banks. Never, ever forget about that. Now we have the White House, Steve Mnuchin, calls for an immediate vote on the stimulus stopgap bill, so therefore they can use the unspent money of the PPP. Now remember, I even showed a video of Jerome Powell saying that it was over $1 trillion just sitting there that they haven't even used. So now they want to pull the billions of dollars that they haven't used, which should have already been out to the people. We know, guys, what do? They manage conflict. They don't solve anything but play the Hegelian dialectic. Republicans doing this, Democrats doing that, but they never ever solve a solution for the people. And we always have to remember about that. Now, we had Jamie Dimon says that we have a long road to going normal. Guys, we know we'll never go back to what's normal. We know the fourth industrial revolution is coming in. Well, we have the robots, the AI, the automation, all the algorithms. That's what they want to bring in. They want to bring in the drones. So basically, that's where we're headed to. Now, we have China stocks rallied last night. And guys, I talk about the emerging markets a lot. Don't forget you have CNBC World that goes over Asia. Please watch it because basically normally the way their stock market is going that night is how we're going to open up in the morning. Basically, they're the highest since June. So China's market definitely took a spike, and then you saw us take a spike. So remember, we're in a global economy. Now we have Astrazeneca with the C word, guys, gets a deal with the government. So we see Big Pharma getting billions and billions of dollars. So basically, they're going to get hundreds of millions of dollars, but we constantly seeing this billions of dollars of taxpayer money going out the window. And this is how the Fed is laundering all this money, guys. Now we have the landlords and lobbyists launch a legal war on evictions. Remember the moratorium that Trump signed the executive order? Now what they're trying to do is unwind the renter protections. So guys, we got to remember how the New World Order thinks. They had Trump do the executive order. Now what they're going to do is unwind the already protections that we have. So next round, when it's going around, when all this money runs out, now what they do is have to put people on the street. And that's when the people have to step up and stick together. We know the government shut this down for no reason. This is where we have to pull together, guys. And next year is going to be the test for the people. Remember I told you that. If we can't stick together, we're all going to get hurt. So don't forget about that. Now, we had China basically, of course, charging in with the 5G. When everybody's worried about the C word, of course, they had it for maybe a few weeks. And they were up and running with the digital currency, 5G. And now we have the Apple event tomorrow. And of course, they're going to announce their 5G phone, of course, the watches and all that good stuff. Of course, right now, the Apple price ran up today. A lot of times what they do is they run it up before the event. And then, of course, we either stay steady or we go down. So just make sure if you are playing Apple, make sure you're looking out for that. And basically, if you see the VIX, guys, the VIX didn't care that we went 300 points up. The VIX still went up. So the VIX is definitely not confused. So we're definitely going to take a pullback. We know all these people are out of work. We know the Fed is pumping this, and we know the Fed has to pull back. We know this. We know they bought up everything with this money. But don't forget October 1st, allow the Volcker rule, where they'll be able to allow to be playing with pensions and 401ks. Remember, I told you guys, they want it all. Now, guys, getting over into the stocks. Again, Apple is a great play. Basically, we have Workhorse. Remember, the electric vehicles, the charging stations. Don't forget about that. But the big important piece, guys, is that we have, remember I told you yesterday, Friday we're going to have the retail sales. We know they're going to be bad as far as the brick and mortars. So basically you have two online ETFs, the ticker ONLN and also ticker CLIX ETF. And basically what that's doing is shorting the stores, but basically buying into the actual online. So that's definitely what you want to do. That's exactly what you want to do, because we know that the brick and mortars are over and everybody's going to be online shopping. Now, what they don't tell you about online shopping is that it's still only 16% of the retail. So it's still a long ways to go, guys. We do see that cutting in fast, especially as technology goes on. But a lot of these stocks and ETFs have a lot more room to grow. Just like I said, it's only at 16%. But guys, that's all I have for you. Don't forget to like and subscribe and spread this video everywhere. You have a wonderful day.
Of the choices you gave me, I would say video conferencing. So I think that the beauty for Apple is an iPhone on a faster network sells itself. But I think Apple can say, you're working from home, you're learning remotely. Wouldn't it be nice to use an iPhone and to not have your internet interrupted on a Zoom call because you're on a 5G network? So I think that video conferencing, video in general, watch Apple TV Plus in addition to Netflix on your 5G iPhone. I think that's going to be a very compelling selling point for the company.
Tom, in terms of pricing structure, is the betting that directionally pricing and ASPs go higher in an effort to protect margin?
Carl, great question. And I think last year the surprise was that they were much more, they didn't raise prices much. They were much more careful with their pricing. This year, I think they have the ability, especially on a bigger screen 5G device, to have what would be historically the highest price point for an iPhone from Apple.
So given that, how should we be thinking about unit sales, right? What is the new bar if, in fact, these things are going to be a tad more expensive?
So, yeah, great question, Carl. The way I think about it is 5G, also to John's earlier point, will set up a multiple-year cycle with unit growth for Apple, which is very important. But given that you had the SE earlier at a lower price point, Carl, to your point, maybe you won't see the robust, huge unit growth sales from day one, given the higher price points, and to John's point, the current state of 5G network build-out.
Tom, kind of larger picture-wise, the iPhone's real job is to sell networks, right? From the beginning, that is why it was subsidized. Do you think we're going to see more subsidies come back this time, or maybe some other methods at making the iPhone more affordable, because carriers really need to get people on these 5G networks that they're spending money building out? And is that going to happen this cycle or next cycle, if you think it's going to happen?
I think you make a great argument that networks need to have this unit growth and this success. Therefore, it's possible they could supplement the price. Apple, though, has put in place its own, use the Apple Card, have installments with no interest. And then I think they're talking about having, essentially an iPhone for life, potentially going for that trademark. So I think Apple has set up with the Apple Card and no interest installment payments. But I do think you make a good argument that the networks may decide to supplement the price if necessary.